The NFL Combine is in full swing, and we have some Titans rumors right here on Titans Today. I'm your host, Jace Andrews. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Titans potentially signing an offensive lineman. Reports came out yesterday talking about a potential guy who his landing spot could be in Nashville. Also, Brock Bowers continues to talk at the NFL Combine, and it seems as though the Titans like him, and he likes the Titans. Could they select him at pick number 7? Could they trade down? We talk about all those scenarios right here on Titans Today. But I will say, if you're enjoying the Titans coverage here on Titans Today, then why don't you share the video? We're trying to gain some subscribers. We're going for 9,000 because the boss has said we couldn't do it. I'm trying to prove them wrong. We're gaining subs every day, but I want to try and push the agenda here. Let's share this out to anybody you know who would be looking for informative, entertaining, and just some fun Titans content right here on YouTube. So make sure you share this video, and let's get rolling on today's show. With the first thing being that offensive tackle, as the Titans and Falcons are two potential landing spots for offensive tackle, Mekhi Becton in free agency. Now, this is interesting because we know how the offensive line for the Tennessee Titans was viewed as last year. Probably one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst. And honestly, I don't think Becton helps that much. I'm not going to sit here and say that he would be the greatest guy to add to this roster. His stats this past year were not great. In fact, I think they were probably on par with the rest of the Titans' offensive line. And anybody who is on par with the rest of the Titans offensive line, I wouldn't like that. His overall PFF grade was 53.2. He had 12 sacks allowed, 8 hits, 30 hurries, 18 penalties. Mekhi Becton is just not exactly the guy that I would want, especially when you consider the Titans' woes last year were very much on the offensive line. That being said, he does have a little bit of experience that I wouldn't mind bringing to the table. And who knows, maybe it was just the way of the offensive line as a whole with the Jets. Their line was not that good. Given you have the chance to draft Joe Alt at number 7, you have Peter Skoronski, you add him. The potential for this offensive line to just be overall better is there. And adding Mekhi Becton, he has the experience factor. I think he could potentially work out. But again, I just don't think that this is exactly the way of going. I will say, though, it is kind of nice to have some juice. We haven't really been talking too much about free agents here on Titans Today because, well, pretty much everything died about a week ago when T. Higgins got franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, they still could trade for him, and we'll have some videos talking about that. But at the same time, that was the guy that we were kind of looking at as the top free agent that Tennessee could sign coming up here right after March 11th, just a couple weeks away. Now we finally get this report about Mekhi Becton potentially being a guy. So I think it's nice to kind of see that there is some juice flowing out there. I just hope it's not a Mekhi Becton next time because, listen, I don't think it's really worth it to go get a guy who struggled at a bad offensive line when your offensive line was already struggling. I do want to talk about the whole Brock Bowers, Joe Alt, number 7 situation because trading down is actually a viable option. And Dane Bruger actually talked about this from the owner of the Athletic, CEO of the Athletic, talked about it and kind of stated that the potential is there for the Titans to trade down. Our own Tom Downey sat down with him and talked with him at the Combine.
When I look at the Titans, seems kind of easy. Fosh or Alt, right?
Yeah, if they stay there.
Yeah.
You know, I think that this is a really good tackle class. So there's a good chance, you know, you bring in Coach Callahan too and what he can do for that offensive line. You think about the offensive tackles, the options they'll have between Alt, Fosh, from our guy from Morgan State, Talise Fuaga, Guyton, Amarius Mims to me is the most fascinating player in the draft. This guy's built in a lab, 6'7", 330. His arms, I can't wait to see the arm length, over 35 inches. And just to see him work out here is going to be really interesting because he moves really well on film. So traits-wise, that's exactly how you want to draw it up. He has 8 starts. So what do you do with that? That's going to be fascinating to see how every team kind of handles that situation. But, yeah, if I'm a team like the Titans and I'm really targeting a tackle, I wouldn't mind moving back a little bit. And maybe a team like the Raiders move up to get a J.J. McCarthy or, you know, whatnot. So, if I'm the Titans, I feel good about sticking and picking. But also maybe if I move back 5 spots, who knows? Maybe Brock Bowers doesn't play there. You know, Titans have talked. Rand Carthon talked about here. They need to get more explosive on offense. They need to add another weapon and probably miss out on the first 3 receivers. But a guy like Brock Bowers, now they went guard last year, tight end. If they went tight end this year, like 2 positions you don't necessarily see in the top 15, that might be a tough pill to swallow. But you can't look at Brock Bowers as just a tight end. He's a little more than that.
There you go. right from the source, The Athletic, saying that the Titans could trade back and that it's a potential option now. They could get an extra third-round pick with it, which they currently do not have, given they traded down for Will Levis last year. So we're going to talk about what that situation would look like, and also Brock Bowers talked to the Titans. What did that meeting entail? We'll give you all the latest details right here, right now. But before that, I've got to tell you about PrizePicks, one of our amazing sponsors here on Titans Today. You can get a $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and they are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Now, I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with the NFL, so they added back in some prize picks. They got the combine prize picks. Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy are the 3 wide receivers I'm going with. You can put these picks in right now. I'm going the less on the 40 times of Troy Franklin and A.D. Mitchell because 4.5 for A.D. seems a little high. And then Troy Franklin, dude's a speedster, 4.36. I think he'll get that. And then Xavier Worthy, I'm going the more on 4.3. I think he's fast. I just don't think he's going to hit 4.3. Testing my skills on prize picks this season has been the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And if you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Now, obviously, they got NBA, NHL, PGA, NASCAR, MLB season-long totals, and they also have weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday, prize picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types will make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Shout out to Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Let's talk about the potential trade. He mentioned in there that it could be the Raiders being the one to trade down to get maybe J.J. McCarthy or a different quarterback. Well, here's what a trade could look like. The Titans would receive the Raiders' first-round pick in number 13 and also could get back into the third round with the Raiders' third-round pick at number 77. Meanwhile, the Raiders would take that number 7 pick off the hands of the Tennessee Titans. Now, we heard from Ran Carthon talk about this situation and the possibility that the Titans could trade down in the near future. I don't know that I would love it. I think in some ways it makes sense because you have so many positions that you have to fill. But at the same time, I kind of like being that high. I want to be inside the top 10. You have the chance to get Joe Alt. You have the chance to get Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers, who we'll talk about here in just a second. But I want to know your opinion on this whole situation because ultimately I want the heartbeat of Titan Nation, and that's you, to let us know what you would do if you were the Titans. Would you be happy about this trade? I want you to scale it on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the least happy, 10 being the most happy. How happy would it make you if the Titans traded back to get that extra third-round pick? Dane said Bowers could be at 13. So here's my suggestion. You trade to 13, you get back in the third round if Bowers is still there at 7. Because 7 through 12, I don't think would take Brock Bowers. Now, I could be wrong, but I think he could potentially fall down there. And, well, Brock Bowers actually talked with the Titans at the NFL Combine. We got this report from Paul Karski saying Brock Bowers, as we go forward here, it's talked about Brock Bowers talking to the Titans, answering core questions as he tried to show off his football knowledge. I thought it was kind of funny. In the interview clip, he was kind of saying, like, oh, yeah, I put my best foot forward trying to show off how smart I was with my football knowledge. And, well, it's kind of fun to see what he has. I mean, this guy's a really all-pro tight end at the college level. This dude was playing out of his mind at Georgia. He had multiple years where he was so close to 1,000 yards. Probably would have had it back in 2023, 714. He could have easily got there. This guy was just a phenomenal threat at Georgia. And I would love to see him in a Titans uniform because ultimately he is a generational talent. I think that's the thing that we have to sit here and look at because, listen, I know the Titans need offensive line help. I'm not going to sit here in front and say that, oh, no, Brock Bowers will be fine. Like, you can get him. No, I mean, I understand you need offensive line help. But if Brock Bowers, a generational talent, is sitting there at 7 and you can pick him, why would you not? I love the way he plays the game, and you could potentially work out tackle options and guard options in free agency. And we've heard both Ran Carthon and Brian Callahan say they may take playmakers over linemen. But Maybe that's not what you're doing. I want you to pick a prospect here between the 4 guys. Is it Brock Bowers? Is it Malik Neighbors? Is it Joe Walt? Or is it Olu Fashanu? Let me know in the comments section down below. You picking an offensive lineman of Alta Fashanu, A or F? Or are you taking a playmaker, Brock Bowers or Malik Neighbors, B or N? I'll give you my pick in just a second. Mine is Bowers. I'm not going to sit here and say anything else because I've pretty much given my hand. I've showed my cards to you this entire time. If Brock Bowers is there at number 7, I am taking him. I know y'all are all going to crap on me in the comments and say, why we need offensive line help. I want Joe Alt. I understand at some points, but this is a generational tight end. I cannot miss out on him. I can't. If he's there at 7, I'm taking him. If he's not there, well, we'll work on that from there. We appreciate you watching this show. I know that we take some valued time out of your day here on Titans Today, and I cannot tell you how appreciative I am. Titans fans, you know what to do. Get in the comment section and type it with me. Tighten up and peace out.